Operating system. An operating system, OS, is a collection of software that manages computer hardware resources and provides common services for computer programs. Every general-purpose computer must have an operating system to run the programs. The OS provides a platform for other application programs. Mainframe operating systems are designed primarily to optimize utilization of hardware. PC operating systems support complex games, business applications, etc. Examples of OS: Microsoft Windows, Linux, Mac OS. The operating system controls and coordinates the use of the hardware by various system and application programs. History of operating system. In the 1940s, the earliest electronic digital system had no operating systems. Electronic systems of earlier times were programmed on rows of mechanical switches or by jumper wires on plug boards. Basic operating system features were developed in the 1950s, such as resident monitor functions that could automatically run different programs in succession to speed up processing. In 1950, General Motor Research Laboratories implemented the operating system called Single Stream Batch Processing Systems for IBM 701 computer. Operating systems does not exist in their modern and more complex forms until the early 1960s. Operating systems designers developed the concept of multiprogramming, in which several jobs are in main memory at once. Microprocessor technology evolved to the point that it becomes possible to build desktop computers as powerful as the mainframes of the 1970s, time-sharing and real-time systems. When personal computers became popular in the 1980s, operating systems were made in MS-DOS, Microsoft Disk Operating System. In the 1980s to 1990s, Microsoft introduces Windows operating system. In the year 1991, Linux operating system was released. Microsoft Windows operating system is a popularly used OS which dominates the other operating systems from the earlier days. Design of operating system. The design of an operating system is classified into two points of view: user point of view, system point of view. User point of view. From the user point of view, the primary consideration is always the convenience and stable. User point of view is easy to use with any application. When an application is launched, it helps to have an icon for user to understand, gives clue on which application it is linked with. Some helpful clues for launching a browser, email, or even a document preparation application. In other words, the human-computer interface which helps to identify an application and its launch is very useful. Operating system compromises between resource utilization and the user. The OS manages the hardware resources of a computer system. The system has many resources for hardware and software which is required to solve the problem. The operating system allocates resources among running programs. It controls the sharing of resources among programs. The execution of user programs is managed by a control program to prevent errors and improper use of computer resources. The operating system is especially concerned with the operation and control of input and output devices. Basics of popular operating system. Four basic types of operating systems are real-time operating systems, single-user operating systems, that is single task, single-user operating systems, that is multitask, multi-user operating systems. Real-time operating systems, RTOS. Real-time operating systems often use specialized scheduling algorithms so that they can achieve a deterministic nature of behavior. The main objective of real-time operating systems is their quick and predictable response to events. Real-time operating systems are used to control machinery, scientific instruments, and industrial systems. The two aspects of RTOS are event-driven, time-sharing. Event-driven. An event-driven system switches between tasks based on their priorities or external events. Time-sharing. Time-sharing operating systems switch tasks based on clock interrupts. Some examples of real-time operating system: Linux OS, OSE, QNX, RT Linux, VxWorks, Windows CE. Single-user operating systems, single task. Single-user operating system is designed to manage the computer so that the user can effectively do one thing, work at a time. Example: DOS, Palm OS. Single-user operating systems, multitask. Single-user multitask type operating system is designed that will let a single user have several programs, that is multitasking, in operation at the same time. Example: Windows, Linux, Mac OS X. Multi-user operating systems. A multi-user operating system allows different types of users to take advantage of the computer's resources simultaneously by parallel works on many applications. Example: Unix, Solaris, Linux, Windows NT. Different types of single and multi-user operating systems. Single-user operating system: OS by 2, MS-DOS, Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows ME, Windows XP, Windows 2000 Professional, Macintosh OS. Multi-user operating system: Unix, Linux, Xenix, Linux, Unixware 7, Windows NT, Sun Solaris, Novel NetWare. Linux. Linux is an operating system that was initially created as a hobby by a young student, Linus Torvalds, in 1991. Linux is an example of open source code operating system. This is different from proprietary software like Windows, which can only be modified by the company that owns it. It has nearby all the features present in Unix operating system. Linux also supports Transmission Control Protocol TCP/Internet Protocol IP, and we can access the local area network and Internet. The programs developed for Windows does not run on Linux, and similar programs developed for Linux does not run on Windows. In Linux operating system, memory leaks are caused due to a failure in program to release discarded memory. A memory leak is the gradual loss of available computer memory when a program, that is an application or part of the operating system, repeatedly fails to return memory. Advantages of Linux operating system: cost or free. The most obvious advantage of using Linux is the fact that it is free to download and use. Security. In line with the cost, the security aspect of Linux is much stronger than that of Windows. Software or distribution. There are so many software choices when it is needed to any specific task. Each distribution has a different look and feel, and the most popular flavors of Linux include Red Hat, Ubuntu, Mint, and Fedora. Compatibility. It runs on all common Unix software packages and can process all common file formats. Stability. Linux does not need to be rebooted periodically to maintain performance levels. It does not freeze up or slow down over time due to memory leaks. Fast and easy installation. Most Linux distributions come with user-friendly installation and setup programs. Popular Linux distributions come with tools that make installation of additional software very user-friendly as well. Disadvantages of Linux operating system: understanding. Becoming familiar with the Linux operating system requires patience as well as a strong learning curve. Compatibility. Because of its free nature, Linux is sometimes behind the curve when it comes to brand new hardware compatibility. However, the kernel contributors and maintainers work hard at keeping the kernel up to date. Linux does not have as much of a corporate backing as alternative operating systems. Alternative programs. Though Linux developers have done a great job at creating alternatives to popular Windows applications, there are still some applications that exist on Windows that have no equivalent Linux application. Introduction to Windows. Windows is developed by Microsoft Corporation. Microsoft Windows is a series of graphical interface operating systems developed, marketed, and sold by Microsoft. Microsoft introduced an operating environment named Windows on November 20, 1985 as a graphical operating system shell for MS-DOS. The term Windows collectively describes any or all of several generations of Microsoft operating system products. Windows also provides virtual memory management, supports multitasking platform, and support many peripheral devices. More than 90% of all the personal computers were dominated by Windows operating system. Windows XP. Windows XP was released in 2001. Windows XP is the new version of Windows. The letter XP stands for Extra Performance. Microsoft Windows XP brims with the new features, improved programs, and tools. Windows XP comes in two versions: Home and Professional. XP contains accessories, communications, and entertainment programs. Its security tools help the computer to run more efficiently and reliably. New improvements have also been made to many existing features to make computer perform more effective and useful. Microsoft focused on mobility for both editions, including plug-and-play features to connect to wireless networks. Windows XP Home Edition offers a clean, simplified visual design that makes frequently used features more accessible. Designed for home use, Windows XP offers such enhancements as the Network Setup Wizard, Windows Media Player, Windows Movie Maker, and enhanced digital photo capabilities. Windows XP Professional includes features for business and advanced home computing, including remote desktop support, an encrypting file system, and system restore and advanced networking features. The operating system also utilizes the 802.11x wireless security standard. Windows XP is one of the Microsoft best-selling products. Windows Vista. Windows Vista is released in November 2006 with the strongest security system. User account control helps prevent potentially harmful software from making changes to the computer. In Windows Vista Ultimate, BitLocker drive encryption provides better data protection for desktop computer and laptops, which in turn boosts the sales and security needs of the user. This version has capabilities to detect hardware problems before they occur, security features to protect against the latest generation of threats, faster startup time, and low power consumption of the new sleep state. Windows Vista simplifies and centralizes desktop configuration management, reducing the cost of keeping systems updated. Windows 7. Windows 7 is released in 2009 to fulfill requirements of Windows Vista. Windows 7 include multi-touch support, Internet Explorer 8, improved performance and startup time, AeroSnap, AeroShake, support for virtual hard disk, a new and improved Windows Media Center, and improved security. It has become common to connect wireless hotspots in public and private networks. It also marks the debut of Windows Touch, which lets touchscreen users browse the web, flip through photos, and open files and folders. Windows 7 allows the user to make the best use of graphic cards from the different vendors. Nowadays, Windows 7 is the most using operating system. Windows 8. Windows 8 has been released in 2012. Windows 8 is a reimagined operating system from the chipset to the user experience, and it introduces a totally new interface that works smoothly for both touchscreens and input devices like mouse and keyboard. It functions as both a tablet for entertainment and a full-featured PC for getting things done. Windows 8 also includes enhancements of the familiar Windows desktop with a new taskbar and streamlined file management. Windows 8 features a start screen with tiles that connect to people, files, apps, and websites. Apps are easily accessed from the Windows Store, built right into the start screen. Windows 8.1 is a free update to Windows 8 and Windows RT. Windows 8.1 is introduced a year after of Windows 8, that is 2013. Windows 8.1 was primarily intended to address the complaints of the Windows 8 users and reviewers on launch. Visible enhancements include an improved start screen, Additional snap views, Internet Explorer 11, restoration of a visible start button on the taskbar, and the ability to restore the previous behavior of opening the user's desktop on login instead of the start screen. Windows 8.1 also added support for such emerging technologies as high-resolution displays, 3D printing, Wi-Fi Direct, and Miracast streaming. Graphical User Interfaces (GUI). Graphical User Interface is a human-computer interface that is a way for humans to interact with computers. That uses windows, icons, and menus, and which can be manipulated by a mouse and often to a limited extent by a keyboard as well. The GUI is a program interface that takes advantage of the computer's graphics capabilities to make the program easier to use. Well-designed graphical user interfaces can free the user from learning complex command languages. Graphical user interfaces also make it easier to move data from one application to another. A true GUI includes standard formats for representing text and graphics. Because the formats are well defined, different programs that run under a common GUI can share data. A GUI may be designed for the requirements of a vertical market as application-specific graphical user interfaces. Graphical user interfaces such as Microsoft Windows and the one used by the Apple Macintosh feature the following basic components. Components of graphical user interface: windows, icons, menus, pointing devices. Examples of graphical user interface. Examples for application of GUI are point-of-sale touchscreens at restaurant, automated teller machine ATM, airline self-ticketing and check-in. Taskbar. In GUI interfaces, the taskbar is a desktop toolbar application that lets the user to locate and perform tasks such as switching between open windows and starting new applications. A bar at the bottom of the desktop is the taskbar, and it was first introduced with Microsoft Windows 95 and found in all versions of Windows after that. The taskbar is usually associated with the Microsoft Windows interface. Most of the taskbar, however, contains shortcuts to applications. Whenever a program or window is open, it shows up in the taskbar as an icon. The notification area at the far right of the taskbar includes a clock and a group of icons. When clicked on a window title in the taskbar, that window will become active and show up in front of other windows which are opened already. User can also cycle through the taskbar items by holding the Alt or Window key and pressing the tab a few times. icons. An icon is a small picture which represents file, program, web page, or command. Usage of icons is to organize collections of data or information and to access them whenever needed, efficiently and simply. Start menu. By default, the Start menu is located in the lower left corner of the Windows desktop. The Start menu is a feature of the Windows operating system that provides quick access to programs, folders, and system settings. The activities of Start menu are: Start programs, open commonly used folders, search for files, folders, and programs, adjust computer settings, get help on the Windows operating system, turn off the computer, log off from Windows or switch to a different user account, running an application. An application is started by double-clicking the icon to be worked with, or right-click on the icon, a menu will appear, then click Open. On the taskbar, we can see the buttons of the programs that are currently open. If the button is slightly darker, it means that the program currently used by the user is active. When there are several programs belonging to the same application or opened at the same time, they are grouped under a button. For example, if we have several windows of Word opened several times, clicking on each button, we find ourselves in the respective program. By clicking, a window will choose to open one of them. In this case, we choose between the Word documents that are displayed. Changing, that is adjusting system date and time. Setting the date and time. Click on the date and time in the notification area. This is commonly present on the bottom right-hand corner of the window screen as shown above. In the window that appears, click Change Date and Time Settings. Once the date and time are set, click Apply and then click OK. The same process can be done using Control Panel option. Changing display properties. To change the display setting, right-click an empty area of the Windows desktop and then click Personalize. Click Display to open the display window. To change the size of text and windows, select medium or larger, then click Apply. Click Change Display Settings to open the Display Settings window. Click the image of the monitor that you want to adjust. If only one monitor is connected, click the rectangle for monitor 1. If more than one monitor is connected and to adjust a second display device, click monitor 2. To change the screen size for the selected monitor, select a resolution from the drop-down list. Use the orientation drop-down list to change the orientation between landscape and portrait or to flip the orientation. Click OK. In the confirmation window that opens, click Keep Changes to save the settings or click Revert to cancel the changes. Desktop background settings. Right-click the desktop background and then click Personalize. Click Desktop Background to open the settings window. To change the desktop image, select one of the standard backgrounds or click Browse and navigate to stored pictures in the computer. To use a personal picture as a background, save the picture in file format or extensions .bmp, .gif, .jpg, .dib, .png. To create a desktop background slideshow, select more than one picture. Use the Picture Position drop-down list to change how the picture should appear on the screen. After making the adjustments, click OK to save the settings and close the Display Properties window. Screensaver settings. Right-click the desktop background and then click Personalize. Click Screensaver. From the menu, select the screensaver to be used. Click Settings to open a settings window for the selected screensaver if settings are available. Click Preview to see how the screensaver will appear on the computer screen. Move the mouse to return to the Display Properties panel when finished previewing the screensaver. Select the number of minutes in the wait field. This is the number of minutes of inactivity that needs to pass before the screensaver opens. To add or remove a Windows component. After Windows OS is installed on a computer, we can use Program Features tool in Control Panel to add a Windows component that was not included in the original installation or to remove an existing Windows component that no longer required. To add a Windows component, click the Start menu, choose Control Panel, and click the Programs and Features icon. In the Programs and Features area, choose Turn Windows Features on or off and click Continue. To install a new component, click on its checkbox After performing desired actions, click OK and the system will perform necessary steps to enable or disable components. To remove a Windows component, click the Start menu, choose Control Panel and click the Programs and Features icon. In the Programs and Features area, choose Turn Windows Features on or off and click Continue. To delete an existing one, click Uncheck. After performed the desired actions, click OK. Changing mouse properties, click Start menu, then select Control Panel. In Control Panel window, select Mouse to change the mouse settings. Button tab, select Buttons tab present in the Mouse Properties window. With the help of this tab, user can swap the mouse buttons and adjust the double-click speed. Pointers tab. Pointers tab is used to change the default mouse pointers. Select the pointer shape you want to change and then click on Browse button. It will display you a list of pointer shapes. Select a particular shape and then click on Open button to open the file. In the default dialog box, click on Apply and click OK. Pointer options. This tab is used to increase or decrease the pointer speed. Wheel. The Wheel tab is used to set the vertical scrolling and horizontal scrolling speed. Increase or decrease number of lines. Hardware. This tab is used to change the device using in the computer. The property of mouse ensures its working, update driver, and shows device status. Adding and removing printers. Adding printer. From the Start menu, select Control Panel. Double-click Printer's icon in Control Panel or click on Start pointing to the settings, click Printer. Printer and fax screen appears. It is used to add, remove and change settings of printers. Select Devices and Printer in Control Panel. At the top, click Add a printer. Now this will ask to confirm whether it is a local printer or a network, wireless or Bluetooth printer. Now, choose the printer manufacturer and model number from the list presented and press Next. The printer name can be changed here and select Next. The printer will now be installed, and once complete, the printer will appear in the device list. Choose the printer want to remove and click on the button Remove Device. Click Yes to confirm the removal of printer. File management. What is a file? A file is an object on a computer that stores data, information, settings, or commands that are used by a computer program. The files can contain any type of information like text, images, video, audio, or any data in any format. The file name and extension must be separated by a dot. The file extension indicates what type of a file it is and what application it is associated with. For example, a file extension .doc is likely to be a document created using Microsoft Word. When new applications are installed, its setup procedure automatically tells Windows what file extension it uses. Other commonly used extensions are .xls for MS Excel spreadsheet, .mdb for MS Access database, .txt for simple text file, .exe for program executable files, .dll for program files, .png for graphic images. Locating a file. Open the Windows Explorer, Start Program, and Windows Explorer. A file can be located using the Windows Explorer. Click the record folder in the main pane of the Windows Explorer to see all of its folders and files. Directory. A computer directory refers to the hierarchy of folders within the folders that makes up the computer system. The topmost directory in any file is called the root directory. A directory above a subdirectory is called the parent directory. Subdirectories. Computers store a data in a series of directories. Each directory or folder may contain files or other directories. If a directory is located within another directory, it is called a subdirectory or subfolder of that folder. For example, the main directory of a file system is the root directory. Therefore, all other folders are subdirectories of the root folder. Root directory. In a computer file system that is organized in a hierarchy or tree structure, where the root directory is the directory that includes all other directories. In Unix-based as well as in other operating systems, the root directory has no name. It is simply represented by the special character that separates directories in a file system. Types of files. The types of files recognized by the system are either regular, directory, or special. The operating system uses many variations of these basic types. Regular files, text files, binary files, text files. Text files are the files used to store data. Text files are regular files that contain information stored in ASCII format text and are readable by the user. The term text file does not prevent the inclusion of control or other non-printable characters. Binary files. Binary files are regular files that contain information readable by the computer. Binary files might be executable files that instruct the system to accomplish a job. Commands and programs are stored in executable binary files. Special compiling programs translate ASCII text into binary code. Text and binary files differ only in that text files have lines of less than line max bytes without null characters, each terminated by a new line character. Directory files. Directory files contain information that the system needs to access all types of files, but the directory files do not contain the actual file data. As a result, directories occupy less space than a regular file and give the file system structure, flexibility, and depth. Each directory entry represents either a file or a subdirectory. Each entry contains the name of the file and the file's index node reference number, I, node number. The I, node number points to the unique index node assigned to the file. The I node number describes the location of the data associated with the file. Directories are created and controlled by a separate set of commands. Special files. Special files define devices for the system or temporary files created by processes. The basic types of special files are FIFO, first in, first out, block, and character. FIFO files are also called pipes. Pipes are created by one process to temporarily allow communication with other process. These files cease to exist when the first process finishes. Block and character files define devices.